everyone. I know, I sound different. Again. Having even more equipment issues lately. Hey, you try transmitting from an ancient CB radio in hell. The trouble with using old parts is they only work as well as you take care of them. This applies to media as well. Star Trek is among the oldest IPs in American media. It was on the air back when TV options were very limited. Trek grew in popularity through very intelligent writing, excellent characters, and certain visual choices. Fan conventions of Star Trek are why we have similar conventions today, like Comic-Con or even A-Con. After several remasters, special editions, and of course different languages, there are now many options to choose from in consuming the original series. That one show of 79 episodes caused shockwaves in popular culture, even going so far as to inspire people to become real-life doctors and scientists. It created a legacy that evolved into a movie franchise and 3 spin-off shows, taking place almost a century later and running concurrently. I haven't checked on it in a while. The amount of content in Star Trek is so massive that consuming it all can take years, and taking breaks might be necessary to avoid fatigue. So let's go check on Star Trek and see what we've missed.
It is not logical for a virus to kill its host.
Lithium went inert. Any ship with an active warp core detonated. The Federation as we know it disappeared overnight.
One crew member was tragically lost. How do you explain that?
He was an idiot.
I think I swallowed my comm badge.
Already?
Get out of my chair!
Oh my God. Kurtzman, what have you done? In 1994, Interplay released a video game for the SNES, Starfleet Academy Bridge Simulator. 21 missions that vary in objective. Some combat, some diplomacy, problem solving, the Kobayashi Maru, even a mission that's similar to the trolley problem, when you can't save everyone and have to prioritize who lives and who dies. It even has simulations to battles from 2 Star Trek movies and the Balance of Terror episode from the original series. 3 years later, Interplay released another version of the game on PC that had some of the original cast returning for actual scenes.
You cannot avoid my challenge, Kalnor. If it is Lorak's fate to be deposed, so be it. I will ensure his successor will be a man of honor.
It is often said that command school cadets are the best of the best, and it's also said that I commanded the best.
Here's a little about me. I ditched Star Trek after J.J. Abrams pissed all over it before he ruined Star Wars. But I grew up with Star Trek and played the SNES simulator a lot as a kid. So my curiosity peaked at the news for a new show entirely about Starfleet Academy. My past experience set my expectations. But after watching just 1 episode, I'm more pissed off than Cisco was at Eddington.
You betrayed your uniform!
First of all, if you're going to make anything Star Trek, you better be prepared to do a shit ton of homework. And there are lore fuck-ups all over the place. Here's the first example. The Tenothians are a minor species and culture in Star Trek. There isn't much known about them, but one thing that's certain is they have never been a part of the Cardassian Union. What does that have to do with anything? Well, how about this Cardassian sigil on a Tenothian ship carrying prisoners? Will this be explained later? Probably not. What about the trial in the beginning? The verdict is already decided before it begins, and is more of a formality. That's more like how they do things on Cardassia, not the Federation.
Tell me, what's going to happen with your prisoners?
They'll be tried for their crimes under the Federation Code of Justice.
And if they're found innocent?
I doubt that they will, but if they are, they'll be set free.
How about Beric? In Cardassia, the verdict is always known before the trial begins. And it's always the same.
In that case, why bother with a trial at all?
Because the people demand it. They enjoy watching justice triumph over evil every time. They find it comforting.
Isn't there ever a chance you might try an innocent man by mistake?
Cardassians don't make mistakes.
This whole "don't trust them" line would make sense if it was established for a plea bargaining deal was already taking place, but they didn't honor it. It's contrived like this specifically to be a lazy commentary on modern issues.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Trek has always addressed issues of the era, but used to do it in a nuanced way, allowing the audience to make up their minds for themselves. This particular issue falls apart with any application of thought. Nala here is upset that she couldn't be as lenient as she wanted to be to a mother who was an accessory to murder. Former She-Hulk here did so to provide food for her kid. How could there possibly be a food shortage in a utopian society that has replicators? We'll talk more about this extremely flawed premise later. Anyway, the kid escapes by stealing her comm badge and using it to access a window, then escapes through a sandstorm. Instead of going after him herself, she orders others to do it for her and closes the most direct path to the kid's escape. How'd he know how to use it? Why didn't she pursue him herself? Why did she just leave him alone and unsupervised? And what the fuck exactly was she supposed to do? She's upset about separating this kid from her mother, who is an accessory to murder. Did she want the mother to get off scot-free? It's a murder, not family court. This show isn't nearly as smart as it thinks it is or even wants to be. Hey, Star Trek, you dropped something. I kept it warm for you. This emotional bent decides to retire to a kindergarten on Bajor. Bajor? Oh no, you better keep Deep Space Nine's name out of your fucking mouth. This guy offers to recruit her back to Starfleet as Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. Apparently, she's fit for the job because she's 400 years old and runs a daycare. At least it's a daycare on Bajor and not Minnesota. This clip also bugs me.
Well, in my 422 years, I've learned a thing or 5.
Since when has any woman over 30 voluntarily blurted out her age? I'm sure it's just to inform everyone that she's infinitely smarter than everyone else. Or, that's what the show wants you to believe. It's important to note that she only agrees to the offer after she learns of the little boy she lost has been found. The same one she retired over. If she really gave a damn that much, she would have been looking for him this whole time.
So I quit, and I've been looking for you every single day for the last 15 years.
Her best effort was telling others to look for her. How about sealing the planet, monitoring transporter activity, scanning for life forms maybe? I'm not letting this go nearly as easily as she let him go. She reunites with Caleb, and he's not so little anymore. In fact, he's jacked. I will credit the show this. They hired an actor who had the discipline to get into great shape for a TV role. Let's hope this trend continues and see how far it goes. Apparently, they have a treaty with certain planets to recruit prisoners into service by taking them to Starfleet Academy. Okay, pump the brakes. What did you say in the intro?
Long ago, Starfleet Academy took the finest minds, hearts, and spirits of every generation and taught them to be lifelong explorers of space.
Why would you want career criminals to be sent to a program reserved for what's supposed to be the best of the best? If a program like this existed, it would be best to be used to send them to regular boot camp, enlisted personnel like infantrymen or mechanics or undead truck drivers, not for the future equivalent of West Point or Annapolis. Are those schools recruiting out of foreign prisons? Hell no. But this alleged genius thinks it's a good idea so she can be close to him and feel better about her failure. To be clear, the show wants you to believe that her failure was separating him from his mom, but her real failure was not easily catching him with all of the knowledge and resources an experienced Starfleet officer has available to her. I am not letting that go as easily as she quit her job over it.
quit. And I've been looking for you every single day for the last 15 years.
And whatever you're here for, Admiral, the answer is no.
If you kept your job, you could have used the access and resources to find him yourself. But no, you would rather relax on Bajor and let other people do your dirty work for you. That's even more Cardassian behavior. Good job, show. Hope the decision to recruit an unpredictable and violent thief doesn't endanger countless other people. That would be embarrassing as fuck, wouldn't it? So they board the USS Athena and,
Getting an education of a different kind aboard this vessel, the Athena, named for the goddess of wisdom.
Who doesn't know that? Does she think the students are stupid? Do the writers and 21 producers think the audience is stupid? Well, let's meet more characters and find out. This arrogant and ungrateful prick who just got a ticket out of a foreign prison keeps saying how he's not going to get a haircut or wear a uniform. This is supposed to make us want to like him? Then we meet the first instructor, a half Klingon and half Jem'Hadar overweight female, who tries her best failed Arlie Ermy impression that got under my skin real fast. Then the show tries to sell to us that this guy with this chest can't do push-ups with added weight on him. I would pay real money to see this character do just one. And that's ignoring the fact that she should not exist because Jem'Hadar could not breed. Yeah, to many Trekkies.
It's pretty strong words for a Trekkie.
Okay, a Trekkie is derogatory at this point in the game. Trekker is what we're called now. Trekker.
Or Trekkers, if you prefer.
Trekkie.
It's blatantly obvious that this show is trying to be a modern take on Deep Space Nine, and that's why I'll be using that show as a measuring stick. Here's another example. The first season of Deep Space Nine was about people from multiple cultures learning to live under one roof. It was diversity done right. Not just a superficial nonsense like skin color, but a multitude of diverse cultures. Federation, Ferengi, Bajorans, Cardassians, and in later seasons, Klingons and Romulans. Even the goddamn Jem'Hadar and the Founders. It explored a concept that modern Trek largely ignores. Culture shock, the stress, tension, adjustments, adaptations, and eventual acceptance of different characters living together. Every character was forced into their positions by superiors, and no one wants to be there. By the end of the first season, we get this excellent scene.
The Bajorans who have lived with us on the station, who have worked with us for months, who helped us move this station to protect the wormhole, who joined us to explore the Gamma Quadrant, who have begun to build the future of Bajor with us. These people know that we are neither the enemy nor the devil. We don't always agree. We have some damn good fights, in fact. But we always come away from them with a little better understanding and appreciation of each other.
Oh, right. It even had Nurse Ratched herself as Bajoran Hillary Clinton. Seriously, if you have not seen Deep Space Nine, go ahead and watch it. You will thank me later. So, what does this show do? Well, let's meet some students and see.
Gaptaz?
You speak Tamsa?
One of my favorite dead languages.
Mine too.
I'm Genesis.
Genesis! Like this.
Wow, I'm sorry. So, who are we spying on?
Please return them.
Nah, don't think so.
Hey, really? You want to pick a fight with a Klingon on day one?
And what are you? Huh? His attack dog? Oh, wow.
I want to learn how to kill a man with a toothbrush. You were in prison, right? That's the rumor anyway. Teach me in exchange for my silence. I'm also gonna need someone to cover all of my shifts on the duty roster. Probably someone to dress me in the morning. Oh, and I want all of my food pre-chewed and spit into my mouth like a baby bird.
Next.
I think I swallowed my com badge.
This is what these writers think of young people. They even use modern terms used by idiots on TikTok in regular dialogue. Even the loudspeaker does it.
The mess hall is now open. Make sure to visit, because sometimes hunger is the greatest enemy of all.
This is even more embarrassing than a high school algebra teacher writing equations to equal 6, 7, then looks smugly at the class. And yes, I used the word embarrassing, not cringe, because I'm a grown-up corpse. And the socially awkward behavior mixed with dumbass dialogue comes off as a bit pandering. If this show really is targeted toward the modern, younger audience, well, this is what the writers think of you. Do you feel seen and represented now? Has your unhealthy need for narcissistic supply been satisfied by this pandering? If you find yourself being relatable to any of these characters, I strongly suggest on taking your meds and going to a gym. Oh, speaking of which, we got multiple body-positive characters. It's funny how gender is a social construct until the subject of eye candy comes up. The men are in fantastic shape, but we must represent the actual dating pool of available women instead of women we'd actually want to meet. Okay, pump the brakes and pull over. What about the stealing food nonsense? If your utopian civilization is somehow experiencing famine, how are the best of our bunch of fat women? In a nation plagued by famine, would it be treason to be fat? Well, maybe if you're a man, right? Especially this fat. Holy shit. All the fatties are female. And one of them is a hologram. She was programmed like this. Her existence raises even more questions about how this shit works and why it just shouldn't. At the same time, DS9 did the hologram society thing already and actually stress tested that concept. Seriously though, Deep Space Nine is brilliant and we did not know how good we had it. Speaking of TNG era Trek, we get a legacy character returning to appeal to a few old fans that are still watching this episode. All 12 of them.
Tricorder. Medical tricorder. Ow! Don't be a baby.
Of all the issues of this show that I have a problem with, I have the least amount of problem with this.
Tricorder. Medical tricorder.
Callbacks are common in Trek.
Wait a minute, aren't you two wearing the wrong color?
Don't you know anything about this period in time?
I'm a doctor, not an historian.
In the old days, operations officers wore red, command officers wore gold.
And women wore less.
I think I'm going to like history.
This isn't even this character's first callback.
I swore I'd never use one of these. Computer, activate the EMH program.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
20 Borg are about to break through that door. We need time to get out of here. Create a diversion.
This isn't part of my program. I'm a doctor, not a doorstop.
Look, I'm a doctor, not an escalator. Spock, give me a hand.
I kind of wish Robert Picardo was not involved in this at all. I hope they paid him a shit ton of money to not only be in this embarrassment, but also run interference for it on social media. You deserved better than this, Doctor.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Oh, that's original. He doesn't even look old enough to be a doctor. If you'd like my advice, you should delete this program. Now that I'm here, why would you need an archaic piece of software like him?
Archaic. We can discuss this at another time.
Listen.
After an awkward scene of the out-of-shape, hollow non-person explains her existence, we get a scene of our career criminal doing career criminal things by hacking into the computers to leave a message for his mom. You stupid bitch! You're really gonna leave this motherfucker unsupervised? Again? What the fuck? I thought you were supposed to be all wise and shit. But after not seeing this kid for nearly 2 decades and being well aware of his abilities and criminal record, you really just let him just wander around right into a console he can hack? Wait a minute. Any student can just go in here? What the... I think a regular transport would have been a simpler method to just get these dumbass kids to school. Probably something short and yellow. The ship, being the school itself, is going to San Francisco just feels redundant. Speaking of the ship, what the hell is this design? They're trying to be all fancy and feminine and feathery, but it accidentally looks like a Romulan ship. So far, the Federation has more in common with the Cardassians and the Romulans than they do the Federation itself. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just superficial. Let's see what's going on the bridge. The best drama always takes place on the bridge. It's where action and dialogue meet. It's the heart of any ship and every show, where information is communicated to the audience during intense situations and critical choices are made. Can this show redeem itself on the bridge? Well, the Athena is intercepted by the criminal from the beginning. Oh, hell. What was his name? He's played by Paul Giamatti. Given his attire, behavior, and terrible dialogue, I'm going to call him Discount Mud.
New Spraka.
So many things I didn't get to say when last we met. For instance, time, with its infinite sense of humor, will always fold upon itself like an origami chicken. Yeah, and this moment, Captain Ake, this moment is that chicken. In other words, shut up!
So Bargain Bin Mud immediately cripples the Athena. The shields were up, but never mind that. The helm's non-responsive, but never mind that. She orders emergency evasive, with non-responsive helm. Then she says to fire a full spread, but never mind that because the turrets are inoperative. But never mind that because what the fuck are turrets? Phasers, torpedoes, disruptors, and so on. Roddenberry decided to make any weapons more than just weapons, but tools. They would have multiple functions. That's why they're called phasers and not straight up lasers. And the torpedoes, as far as terminology is concerned, is more in line with naval traditions, since naval terminology down to the goddamn rakes juncture is fundamental to Starfleet. But goddamn turrets? If you're going to have new weapons in Trek based off of old real-world weapons, goddamn cannons would have made more sense. Okay, so Dollar Store Mud sent a hologram of himself to the bridge to grandstand over Nala, then demand their warp core. The mechanics of the hologram communication tech is not what I take issue with. We've seen this kind of tech before. What I take issue with is this scene is how he announces his intentions and just leaves. He could have simply stayed there. As long as his hologram presence is on the bridge, they can't do shit. This crew isn't nearly familiar with each other to do this.
Because our species has no such concepts. As we are all identical, distinctions among ourselves are meaningless. Hence, we are replicas of Fall and Desak explored this issue on Mizar 2 and on Chalma, the Enterprise. Your responses were most intriguing, yet sometimes...
Now, Mr. Wolf.
Nor are the writers smart enough to consider something that intelligent.
Gave you the kill gesture.
Yeah, no, you gave me the word dead signal. I was agreeing with you, like I know where the hold button is.
And the writers couldn't come up with a solution to this other than he just leaves for no reason. Speaking of dumbass shit, the dumbass kids saved the day with contrived bullshit and convenience. It's convenient that the Cobra Kai wannabe trope is a species that can survive in a vacuum. It's convenient that they have a hologram that can do this. Hold on. Most holo emitters are non-functional? Luckily, the socially awkward, overweight, and hollow character is unaffected. Lucky the career criminal knows how to hack the bullshit infecting the ship. Speaking of him, this attack is his fault, since his hacking of consoles earlier is how Discount Mud got here. But let's not forget the first rule of leadership. Everything is her fault.
When soldiers lack discipline, the fault lies with their commander.
Surely there are ways to have me killed that would be less detrimental to the war effort.
There will be no more discussion on the matter.
Other than recruiting the idiot that hacked the comms, you're responsible for checking the ship's course. And this attack happened near the Badlands. Why? Why did you lay a course near the goddamn Badlands? The Maquis, smugglers, and other criminal factions like this walking cartoon have used it to hide for God knows how many years or potential centuries now. This is like not realizing you drove a full school bus through gang territory because you were too busy texting your girlfriend. Maybe stop reading a fucking book you've already read a few times and actively pay attention to what's going on. And it's literally your first day back on the job in almost 2 decades. You don't want to screw this up too much. Maybe try leading by example and sit in a goddamn captain's chair like someone who commands respect and has real authority. Fuck my ass, I hate this show. The bridge is no longer a setting for intelligent problem solving or commanding presence. Hey, Star Trek, you dropped something, but something tells me you don't want it back. So our make-believe smart person was able to trick our dumber villain by using a simulation when all the systems are supposed to be down. This gives our criminal masturbator the chance he needs to hack the space aids infecting the ship. And he does. But Timo Mudd literally teleports right to him, and an embarrassing fight takes place that makes me miss the fight scenes I couldn't see in AVP 2. But he escapes in a pod. Then the writers had him do this. How fucking dare you? That doesn't mean anything to Caleb, but it means a lot to us. This entire show is just rage bait, isn't it? Fuck my ass, I hate this show. But what about the escape itself? It shouldn't be possible. Okay. Pump the brakes, pull over, shut it down. You realize the ship is back to normal, right? You could just get a tractor beam to catch it, transport him off the pod and into the brig. Or, here's an idea, blow it the fuck up! But no, you just let him go. Even easier than Nala let the little boy go. And since we hear that Caleb's mother escaped from her prison as well, that's 3 times in one episode people have eluded Starfleet. The goddamn Klingons had better prisons hundreds of years earlier. Kirk and McCoy were only able to escape with lots of help and taking advantage of the plan to kill them.
Killed one.
Attempting escape. Now that's convincing for both.
So what?
So I cut you a deal. Stay. You'll be restricted to campus for 90 days with 100 hours of menial labor. Or go. Just go. Out there. Without your best chance of finding your mother.
Tearing that kid away from the only family he has and then putting him in one of your uniforms reaches a level of sadism not even I have.
Wouldn't the option be either prison or restriction? Are you afraid of another escape? Giving him the option to just be free after all that? A cynical person like me would assume you put that option there to save yourself. You lost him, you recruited him, and you did not keep an eye on him. And countless people and holograms almost died. Seriously, look at this. Not only is it more CGI sludge than Odo looking at the Great Link, but that's a lot of direct damage. Some injuries, of course, but no one died? Not one person? That was just as much your fault as it is his. But the show can't have a woman be accountable for anything, even if she holds a position of power and responsibility. Maybe that's why no one died. She might have had to suffer consequences otherwise, and we can't have that. So there are no real stakes then. Okay, fine, whatever. And that's just the first episode. I didn't cover everything. Like this student's existence, that species just shouldn't exist. They're extinct. The gay Klingon med student, this cardboard cunt, the double standards of Starfleet regulations, other one-sided commentary like Beta Z being an isolationist planet. They were invaded and conquered by the goddamn Dominion while under Starfleet protection. Can you really blame them? Oh, let's not forget the deaf leader of Beta Z, or this student in a goddamn wheelchair. Nog did not lose his leg in combat and go through the hell of rehab and confronting his fears while learning how to walk again just for you to sit on your ass in a wheelchair when you don't have to.
I can't tell you how many times a veteran has come up to me and they would say, that show helped me. It helped me when I came back. It helped me get through, whatever the individual was dealing with. And that's powerful.
If I can get shot, if I can lose my leg, anything can happen to me, Vic. If I stay here, at least I know what the future is going to be like.
You stay here, you're gonna die. Not all at once, but little by little.
Eventually, you'll become as hollow as I am.
That's how far Star Trek has fallen. Fuck my ass! I hate this show! Even if you ignore the issues with the lore, this show is a relentless enemy against logic itself. There's no way something this poorly written can stand on its own feet. I am not exactly sure when Star Trek died, but this show is Star Trek's reanimated corpse being forced to dance on strings. We had discussions among fans about which was better between Star Trek shows. The common argument was between Kirk or Picard, which is dumb because the correct answer is Cisco. There even were arguments about Star Trek and Star Wars.
But I would like to see your Darth Vader take on one Borg drone. We'll see who's laughing then. Am I right?
Darth Vader could put the entire Borg collective in a vice grip with his mind.
Darth Vader has asthma, so name me one Star Trek character with a respiratory disease, because I'm drawing a blank.
But all that was before Kurtzman started making Star Trek. All you really need to know about him is he was JJ's protege. The protege of the guy responsible for destroying both Star Wars and Star Trek. Yeah, Kurtzman apparently learned everything he knows from JJ, and it definitely shows. Now, the argument has devolved into which shows are worse, mainly between the Acolyte and this Frankenstein's monster. The whole show hasn't been released, so that can't be answered quite yet. Being worse than the Acolyte, a show so terrible that even Disney-owned Lucasfilm had to cancel, would be a catastrophic failure on any measure. But this show is seemingly going out of its way to accomplish that. It's more interested in going for woke points than it is at telling a decent story. Now, let's get this out of the way. Star Trek has always been progressive and diverse. And it was also intelligently written. Gene Roddenberry had many rules for the writers. These rules put the writers in unique situations to solve problems with restrictions and creativity. Of course, over time, and Gene Roddenberry's death, several rules were bent or even broken. Rules like no long-running serialized stories, or no infighting between Starfleet members, or no religion. But every time these rules were broken, it was to tell a deeper story. What would happen if members of Starfleet wanted to be free and independent of the Federation? How would a utopian society respond to a war that they were forced into while being outmanned and outgunned? And could we possibly explore these ideas through multiple seasons instead of just one episode? And how can we join hands with people of other cultures who are extremely devoted to a strange religion?
You've got to realize something, Jake. For over 50 years, the one thing that allowed the Bajorans to survive the Cardassian occupation was their faith. The prophets were their only source of hope and courage.
But there were no prophets. They were just aliens that you found in the wormhole.
To those aliens, the future is no more difficult to see than the past. Why shouldn't they be considered prophets?
Are you serious?
My point is, it's a matter of interpretation. It may not be what you believe, but that doesn't make it wrong. If you start to think that way, you'll be acting just like Vedic Wynn, only from the other side.
Seriously, I am not kidding. Watch Deep Space Nine. It's worth your time, I promise. But what about this show? Well, it's a fake. All right, you don't need me to tell you that it's terrible. Many videos have already been made criticizing this garbage down to every detail. Oddly enough, they're not all saying the same things. There are so many flaws, mistakes, misunderstandings, and straight up garbage in every scene. It's like cleaning up a train wreck with a fine-tooth comb.
We ain't found shit.
Everyone is going to notice or say something different unless they're just plagiarizing somebody else. What's particularly interesting is the response to the backlash. Not just from the people responsible for this disaster, but the activists that cosplay as journalists, particularly the Mary Sue. Ignoring the irony of their namesake is from a poorly written Star Trek fan fiction, they actually said the following, quote, "More recently, men like the critical drinker and nerdrotic, known for hating anything that seems to be left-leaning, have been dogging on the Paramount Plus slate of Star Trek shows. The issue with these right-wing figureheads talking about Trek is that they miss one important detail about Star Trek. it was never for them. End quote. Well, I hate to break it to you thick-headed shrews, but I got a 60-year-old newsflash for you. Star Trek, since its inception, was meant for everyone. Yes, it was always progressive. And yes, it was always diverse. And the point of being diverse is to be inclusive. Saying it's not meant for you is exclusive by definition. Star Trek was not intended to be a lefty echo chamber. And these fat, ugly bridge trolls are trying to gaslight everyone into believing that it always has been, with all of the subtlety of a Cardassian interrogation. If you can show me that fifth light you're trying to convince me exists, you can shove it up your ass. Star Trek has lost not just its brain and its heart, but its soul. Lucky for you guys, I found it. It was on Deep Space Nine. Quark had it behind the bar.
I want you to try something for me. Take a sip of this.
What is it?
A human drink. It's called root beer.
I don't know.
Come on. Aren't you just a little bit curious?
Watching this shit show is actually infuriating. But if you enjoy this content, I will write it out for your entertainment. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're feeling a little brave, throw in a comment too. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next stop.
I'm drawing a blank.
Name me one Star Wars character who's gay.
Yeah.
Besides you.
Well, I know it's gay in Star Trek, so why would I even do that?
Well, now it's half of them.
Make it so.
Will always fold upon itself like an origami chicken.
It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
It's vile.
Major, shut that thing up!